Okay, so this is the chemistry project. It's a simple one. It's about electrolytes, and we're just trying to prove that electrolytes are what facilitate electricity, and they're used to conduct electricity. This is why salt water is conductive and pure water is not. And this is going to be demonstrated today with this bottle full of distilled water, and then this bottle that is full of Gatorade, which has electrolytes in it. So if everything goes to plan, this should conduct electricity, and this should not. And to test that, here I have a voltmeter and I have a battery. Sorry for setting up before I started recording. It's just some electrical tape connected to a wire, and I'm going to explain the process now. So I have a little needle that I'm going to stick into the bottle. Then I'm going to replace that with this end. So I'm going to do that now, and we're going to test the distilled water. I'm going to move this off to the side. Test the distilled water and see if it conducts electricity, and it shouldn't. So I've punctured that, and then I replace that with this little node here. And you see that the pressure should keep the water almost completely inside. So now you have an electrical current going through there. So now this is my battery. Oh, and you can see that that little thing is connected directly to the voltmeter. And then the other side of the voltmeter is an alligator clip that's going to connect here to this 9-volt battery. And then now I'm going to complete the circuit. Okay, that's letting, okay, I got to do this quickly. So now when I stick this in the water, there should be no reading. And you can see here that it says 3.61 volts. So that's actually probably because this water is not totally pure, which makes sense. Okay, wait, let me patch this up. It's not stopping. Okay, the reading turned out to be around 3.6. And that's probably because this was originally Zephyr Hills spring water that does have minerals. And then I emptied it out and I tried to get all the water out, but there could still have been some contamination of electrolytes from the previous water before I filled the bottle with distilled water. So that could explain why there is still some voltage, but it does still show that the voltage was much less than it would have been otherwise. So there was still significant resistance with the water. Okay, here we are back. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the Gatorade, and hopefully, if I did the experiment right, the voltage should at the very least be above 3.6. Okay, so now I've stuck this inside of the Gatorade, and now I'm just going to perform the same thing again by unscrewing the cap, and now that's leaking everywhere. And we're going to put this in there, and you look here, you can see that now it says 7.94. So you can see that there's still a little bit of resistance, but it's much closer to the original 9 volts than the other. So you see this conducts almost twice as well as the distilled water. So this shows, okay, I'm going to put the cap on this before it leaks everywhere. So, this kind of explains that electrolytes do facilitate and help conduct electricity. And really, chemically, they are the only thing conducting electricity, but there was some contamination with this bottle. So that explains a little bit of why it wasn't 0, even though it should have been. And this leads into the rest of our talk about electrolytes.